Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of Cartoons in Chaos, the first official revival episode of my old podcast, Nerds of the Roundtable. But this time, it's unfiltered, unhinged, and unstoppable. I'm your host, that guy Jordan, your favorite anime addict, movie maniac, chaos dealer, and certified nerd. If you love if you love cartoons, gaming, hot takes, and travel drops, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Let's start the chaos off with some smoke. Today's hot take. Anime is beating Hollywood. Not just creatively, not just visually. I'm talking storytelling, emotion, and pacing. Anime is dunking on billion-dollar Hollywood films, especially these lazy remakes. Like, how many times are we going to get a reboot of the same IP with worse CGI and no soul? Like, let's be real here. Demon Slayer's visuals, like, Demon Slayer as a whole, like I just want to point that out, is just visually spectating. The storytelling is perfectly down. Like it's killing. Like Disney keeps on making these live action movies that no one asked for. Like me and my like we went to go see Lilo and Stitch a couple of days ago and everything like that, or about a week or so ago, and they butchered the main story. Where was I don't know. It just got butchered. Mulan butchered. I genuinely don't know what they did with Snow White. And let's be real, man. Like even Marvel's storytelling until recently has been down. I mean, what happened to the Marvels too? It just became basically a musical at this point. The Jujutsu Kaisen has a way better story arc than the Phase Four did. The lead up for Phase Four has just been lackluster, aside from Captain America and the Thunderbolts. I'm having very high hopes for Fantastic Four. So, I mean, hopefully this back half of the Phase 4 into the next Avengers movies will do better. But still, I mean, you have anime out here taking a lot of risk, and Hollywood is now just a cash grab. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Jurassic Park. I've always loved the series, but I mean, I feel like that third Jurassic World movie was a cash grab. I mean, bringing back the older actors and everything, but not having the story to back it up why you did this, and then going into this next movie, you putting big people name in these franchises to just, I mean, granted, I do want to go see it, but uh, I don't have a lot of high expectations for this next Jurassic Park movie. And same thing with Superman. I mean, like the Superman, everyone's like, "Oh, James Gunn is doing well with the Superman. He's going to." I don't know, man. I mean, with anime, you have characters that grow versus cardboard heroes. Like that's just the problem here. And then it's like we keep rebooting the same character, even though it's like, oh, this is not a remake, but it's still a reboot of the character, and we're getting to see more character. It just feels so crazy because studios can't stay consistently well with the story and everything. I think one of the best movies I've seen by Hollywood in recent years, honestly, other than your average Marvel movies and everything, would definitely have to be Sinners. I mean, Sinners was definitely hands down one of the best movies of 2025. I genuinely love Sinners, and it just felt really good watching it. Something refreshing, something new, something completely from the left field. And that's the type of thing Hollywood doesn't want to do. It wants to keep remaking the same thing. You keep remaking I don't know how many Mission Impossibles. Every time you say, "Oh, this is the final reckoning, this might be the final movie and everything," and it's like, "Oh yeah, this is the final movie." But then they're gonna like 10 years later they're gonna reboot it. I just don't know. Like certain things deserve another chance, but like let's try to, let's try to feel something. Anime makes you feel something. Hollywood makes you check your phone halfway through, and that's the actual truth there. Like going to a big time movie now, is it really worth watching the whole thing? Do you really want to be there? Like I said before, like Lilo and Stitch, it was missing the point of what the first movie was, and you have these directors who try to come out uh, and explain why they changed certain things from the movie, and it's not fair to the source material. That's why the first Percy Jackson movie failed. They did that same thing. Like, you cut so many different parts, which is why I think the show does very well, is because it's like it takes its time. It does still cut away from certain parts of the book, but it's still dedicated to try to be as close to the book as possible. And so I like stuff like that. I think if Hollywood wants to redo anything, you should redo like Aragon. Because the last time y'all did Aragon was horrible. Like, and honestly, Hollywood should stay away from live action animes. Netflix does not do a good job with the live action animes. They don't do live action, and cartoons don't adapt well, in my personal opinion. I've seen that with Last Airbender the first time around. Even the Avatar Last Airbender show that they did on Netflix didn't hit the mark as what watching Avatar Last Airbender does for me. And even One Piece. I mean, what are you going to do with One Piece? Have are you gonna keep One Piece flowing down the line, because One Piece is such a long anime? Is that what are you gonna do? You gonna have 15 seasons with the same actors, all that stuff? It's again all a cash grab. I don't like it. Anime objectively is better than Hollywood because it just does something. It really does. But speaking of Hollywood, or speaking of anime, sorry, me and my best friend Dallas, we just got back from Japan not too long ago, and let me tell you, it was a very peak experience because Japan is a nerd's haven. Like it's a place, and it's not just for nerds. It's a place of culture. It's a place of travel. It's a place of food for foodies, and it's a different experience there. As long as you respect the culture, let's break it down. Like we got there, everyone's like, oh, you're going to be in a different country. You might not understand anything. The hardest thing about our trip was figuring out the train systems. That was the hardest thing about the trip. Because once you figure out what line you needed to take or whatever, it was very easy to navigate Tokyo, navigate all of that. We was able to go and experience a lot of different things. We was able to see the giant Gundam. We was able to see Naruto Land, and the food. Oh my God, the food was phenomenal. Even like fast food restaurants in Japan have a different flavor than it is in America. Like going to McDonald's at 2 a.m. in the morning hits better than even eating McDonald's here in America. It's different. Like everything is completely differently. And department stores, like seven floor department stores, like each floor having their own different thing, whatever you want, never anything. Like you have to bring a second suitcase. Like I brought a second suitcase or a second bag because I knew I was going to buy so much stuff. I mean, I ended up spending like $500 in merch, priceless like things, anime merch. I even got keychains. I got kunai. I got the whole works, man. Like it was an amazing experience in Japan. And like if anyone's going to Japan or going to Tokyo, I highly advise you, if you're a nerd or if you are into anime, all that stuff like that, you got to go to Akabiri. Akabiri is the place to be because it's the haven for us. It's You see a lot of different things, and it's like celebrates Japan celebrates us being nerds, or celebrates the anime culture and the nerd culture. Like every city you go to, like from Shibuya, Akabiri, you see arcades, you see the Gundam build shops, you see the card shops. I got a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards there, man. Some cards that, if I was to try to get in America, some of these cards would be expensive. Like, why am I paying this much money for this type of card? Like, let's be real. But I think it would really blew my mind about Japan is that despite not being there, if you know a couple of different words into the if you know the words of like hello, goodbye, thank you, excuse me, if you know those certain words to get you by and everything like that, they will they will politely help you way better than if you just was just trying to be, generic and everything. But here's the thing with Japan that a lot of people overlook when they're going, or disrespect when they're going, and this is my problem here. I will say this wholeheartedly, is that me and my buddy were trying to be very respectful to the rules, walking where we're supposed to be walking, making sure that we aren't loud on the trains, talking that much on the trains, all that stuff. And you have people that blatantly disrespect that law, especially European travelers and vacationers and stuff like that, openly talking loud on the trains, or trying to you know be like, yeah, basically like be rude and stuff like that. And you just can't do that there in Japan. Like, they don't take kindly to rudeness. They don't take kindly to loudness. The culture there is a very stern culture, and you can notice those things and stuff like that. And that's what I do love. And as you get into like the more rural areas of Japan and everything, you're not going to find a lot of people who speak or even like understand English. You have to try to assimilate and try to communicate their way, or you're going to find yourself in a situation where it's like you don't understand. And that was the whole thing. Like, and once you learn that aspect, or once you've mastered that aspect of like traveling and everything like that, you understand like you can go to Japan. Like, it's not a scary situation at all. Like, everybody makes it out to be like, oh, it's so scary going to another country because they have so many rules, they're strict. Man, they were the chillest type of people. I met this kid at the arcade. He's helping me play this game. He's helping me understand this game, man. He gave me some cards and some gifts. Like, he literally handed me like these right here. I keep these by my desk now. And he handed me all of these because he was like, these are gifts for you, man. Like, these are the stuff that I want you to have, type of thing. Kid was cool, man. Like, he's just in the arcade chilling. And like, I wish I would have been able to learn his name, but it was one of those chance encounters in which you find. And Tokyo and Japan it was just a different vibe than what America was. And it's clean. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, that's one of the cleanest places I've ever seen in my life. Like, the public bathrooms are clean. It was safe. Like, I was walking at 2 a.m. in the morning to go get something to eat. And here's what I will always tell you is that the first thing you need to do when you get to Japan is you need to go to 7 go get you a rice ball. I prefer beef and onion for me. That was the best one. And the 7-Eleven fried chickens, huh, heavenly. Best fried chicken I've ever had in my life. Like, that's insane to say, but that was some good fried chicken. I think me and Dallas was running that up. Good ramen. Like, there's a lot of places. I think when we go back, because me, my buddy Dallas, and a couple of our other friends, we're planning our next trip there next year, and we're gonna do a 10-day there. I think we're gonna pretty much stay in the same place that I stayed at, or we stayed at, which was Minato City. And it was perfect there. Like, it was easy. You want to stay when you travel to Tokyo, you want to stay near the trains. Like, you want to stay near the trains. You like it's the best way to get around. And by staying near the trains, and by staying um in public transportation areas and everything, you can get around easily. And especially if you're staying in Tokyo, because we wanted to go to Universal Studios, we wanted to do all that, but we figured out very quickly how far that would be, because the Universal Studios, and I believe the animation studio of Tui, is where we wanted to go, is in Kyoto. And in I can't think of the city right now, not off the top of my head, but we need, next time we go, Osaka. There we go. So next time, that's why we did the 10. That's why we're doing the 10-day, because next time we go, we're gonna do 4 days in Tokyo, so we can hit Akibiri, Shibuya, and Tokyo, and a couple other, and probably other cities. Like, I think one of the cities we went to was like Daja or something like that. This place is the place where the giant Gundam was. Like, it was the Wing Gundam. I'm gonna post the video of that on my TikTok, so go follow TikTok when you get a chance. But I'll post a video there. But when I tell you that the giant Wing Gundam transformation thing was amazing, it's amazing. But The town where the giant Gundam is, or the city or where it is a pristine city. It has three malls, three different shopping centers. It was a vibe. It was a vibe. I think going there and seeing that, I was like, we probably need to come back and see this again. So I think that's probably like the fourth city. And then I think we're gonna take the bullet train to Osaka because I really want to take the bullet train to Osaka. We're gonna stay in Osaka for 4 days, and then we're gonna do Universal Studios. We're going to do Toei Animation Studios, and we're going to do a couple other things at Kyoto, because Kyoto is a very traditional Japanese place as well, to where I've heard that you can create your own like kunai. You can go through kunai classes. You can find generic, find a place where you can create your own swordsmans and all that stuff like that. I'm genuinely excited for that next trip. With that being said, like I am excited to go back. I am excited to do more things there now that we understand like how we have to do things. Like me and my buddy Dallas, which is like, all right, cool, we got this, we understand it now. So then that part of the learning that part of the culture and learning that part of the system, once you get that down pat, it's very easy to navigate Japan. It's not that hard. And let me just tell you, like the pricing there, like the pricing, I can't speak on how affordable things were there. Like getting what we got, I would probably spend, like I said, I spent about $500 on just merchandise and everything. If you take that $500 that I spent there and like go to a Comic Con for the stuff I got, if you got everything I got from the Comic Con, compared to that, I would probably spend like $1,200-$1,500 at a Comic Con for all the stuff I got there for like $500. I got whole manga books. I ended up getting like some stuff like trinkets and stuff like that for family members, or I filled out my keys and stuff like that. It's just I wouldn't be able to get that here in America for the price that I did there, and it's kind of crazy to me. Like I don't know, man. And then I got to tell you, there's some hidden gems for food there. We stopped. I think we was in Shibuya. I'm pretty sure we was in Shibuya. We stopped at this Turkish place. They had these Turkish wraps, like this chicken Turkish wrap with the sauce, this lettuce, tomatoes. And I don't even eat tomatoes like that. But I was like, you know what? Let me try it. Let me try it. Put some cheese on it. Man, let me tell you, that little Turkish man, whoever you are, Turkish man in Shibuya, that was a great Turkish wrap. I would advise you, if you see that place, get it. If you go to Naruto Land, which is in basically it's in Naruto Land Fuji, Mount Fuji or whatever. There's two Naruto Lands actually. We did get to go to the one with the heads or anything, but we did get to go to the Naruto Land. But they have the best thing I've ever had in my life, which was a meat bun. It's just a bun of meat, and it tasted amazing. And then of course the Ichiraken ramen. We had that, and then we had another ramen shop in Minato City, and that place hit. Like, oh my gosh, ramen, mwah, there you go. The ramen there is just it goes crazy. So be kind of craving some good ramen too, because it feels like it clears out your system very well, and it just doesn't sit heavily. And that's the other thing about food there in Japan. When you eat food here in America, it feels so heavy sitting on you, and it's just like, I don't feel good, or it's like, yeah, this just doesn't agree with me. But then you go to the food there, like even McDonald's. We had McDonald's, Carl's Jr. We had this one Japanese burger place with this night, like the it was nice. Like when I post the Japan video on my TikTok, you guys got to go see it. When I tell you, like the food there, even after we ate, we were full, but it wasn't feeling like, it felt like, hey, I'm full, but like I can still walk around, I still feel good. Like it just, all that notion of like, oh, no wonder Japanese people are more healthier than us and everything. That's a fact. And on top of that, you walk a lot in Japan. Like 20,000 steps type of walking. Like, let's be real, walking 20,000 steps is very hard when you're not meaning to. But that's just an average day in Tokyo, baby. Like, oh my gosh, average steps and everything. So, yes, that is the Japan trip. We're going back. Can't wait to experience it. I might vlog it next time so you guys can see what we see and everything like that. I don't know yet. That's still another year away, but when we get down to the nitty gritty, when we get up to that, we'll talk more about it later on down that line. But now we need to talk about like gaming rant and everything like that. So let's talk about Nintendo because I got a lot to say about Nintendo. Since we've been there, since we went to Japan and the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, I gotta say something about that. The Nintendo Switch 2, it's not worth the hype, man. It's not worth the hype. Not until they give us something revolutionary. Let's talk about the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is the Wii U 2. Or I'm sorry, the Wii U. The Switch 2 is the Wii U. Point blank simple, period. The only difference they gave us was that honestly nothing realistically. It's still the same console as the Switch. It's just it looks smaller. I guess it's just smaller. And then you're re-releasing old titles with minimal updates. The hardware barely changed, like I said, and they're resting on nostalgia, but the pricing is where you get me. It's the pricing and it's the pricing of the game, of the system, which is like damn near $400. Upgrading you basically don't even own the games that you do buy because all game you can't even play basically a single player game without internet. What type of stuff is that? Because you don't get a cartridge anymore. You just get the game and you have to scan it or something like that. And that's ridiculous to me. And then on top of that, if a lot of you guys have missed it, the terms and conditions basically said that Nintendo can brick your game system if you make any type of changes to the game system itself. I'm sorry. I thought I bought this gaming system because it belongs to me. I can do whatever I want to it. But apparently, to Nintendo's eyes, the system doesn't even truly belong to you either, even if you do buy it. And that's just not something I can get by. And then on top of that, we still do not have no true multi-regional Pokemon game. We're getting a remake. We're getting basically, I believe, I think it's whatever the sixth generation Pokemon what region was. Not Unova. Um what is the sixth generation? Kalos. We're getting I believe a Kalos City remake on with this new Pokemon game because yeah, I don't know. That's the biggest release I guess because they just released a Mario Kart with the Nintendo Switch, but then we're getting another Pokemon game that again no one asked for. I'm sorry, no one asked for this Pokemon game, and if you did ask for it, I apologize for putting you into this, but I feel like, in my personal opinion, no one realistically asked for this game because let's realistically break it down because I feel like Nintendo has two different platforms as far as gaming wise. Like I realistically need to for you guys to understand where I'm coming from, I think we need to talk about Nintendo as a whole. I want you to think of the three main games Nintendo has ever had in the lifespan of Nintendo, as long as anybody's been playing Nintendo since the 64, Game Boy Advance, all those stuff like that. Like, think about like the three biggest selling points was Pokemon, Super Mario, and of course Zelda. Those are your three main Nintendo games. Like, I feel like those are the big three for Nintendo. I feel like when you think about Nintendo, those are the three biggest games you really think of. You think of Mario because of all like there's a plethora of Mario games, like a very plethora of that. And then you have Zelda. We have beauty, and I think they did a very good job in Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was breathtakingly beautiful. You have Pokemon. We haven't been getting lots. Like I think Pokemon hasn't been really hitting as much as it used to be, just because like they're not making good Pokemon games again. Because I mean, granted, as Pokemon goes, you have to keep it innovative and everything like that. So I'm glad we're up to like nine. Like I think nine generations of it, up to Paldera, which I'm glad about. But I feel like this new Pokemon game that they released on the Switch too, I feel like it could have been better, honestly. I feel like they could have re-released maybe like they did Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl a couple of years ago. I feel like we could have got that with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I feel like that would have been a phenomenal release, and I could have saw past all the problems that the Nintendo Switch 2 has to go get those games. I promise you that probably would have been the best one. Or if they like, I'm sorry, it's 2025 for us to still not have a multi. Like I'm gonna keep reiterating this for Nintendo not to make a game as expansive as they could be with a multi regional game, and you have people out here making ROM cuts. ROMs. I just want to point that out. There is a Pokemon ROM right there, right now, where you can go to each region up to like Gen 5 or Gen 6. Like they've made that possible. Like you start at a region, you play through that region. Once you're done with that one, with the side quests and all that, like 100% complete that one, you can move on to the next region. Or after you beat the championship. Do you know how crazy that it sounds? Like a person really took the time out of their day. The person really took the time out of their day to realistically go and create a Pokemon ROM in which you can travel to 5 different regions. Nintendo, you're telling me you can't do that? Like, I feel like a couple years ago, Nintendo devs said they laugh at when people say why you can't make a regional game. But then you like look at, I just want to point out like it would probably take up the same amount of space as like GTA 5 or GTA 6. Like, let's be realistic about it. Like, think about it like this: it's like you want to support better, you want to support more games. Like Nintendo has Fortnite. Do you know how expansive Fortnite is? Or how big Fortnite is, how many maps are built into that, how many modes are built in that. You're telling me you can't take that same model and put that into, I don't know, a Pokemon game with all the regions? Or at least to, like let's put it like this, because if Soul Silver allowed you, Soul Silver and Heart Gold, or in Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Crystal, those old, like the Johto games, allowed you to go to Kanto. So you're telling me we could go back to one region, like to region 1, but we can't just sell away, go to region 3 at least, or region 4? Like, let's be real, man. Like, you're telling me that, you know what? Selling point. Another Super Mario Kart. You can get to trucks now. That's my selling point. And now I make a Pokemon game where I can jump people now from no, like I feel like the I feel like Nintendo is kind of running out of ideas because I'm sorry, if you I'm not paying 80 $90 for a Super Mario game when my Super Mario Kart 8 is still good. Like, why would I do that? I You haven't made a true like since like I feel like Mario. You haven't made a good game since Odyssey. Like you can just keep remaking everything else. And if you want to do remakes, that's fine. Do a remake of like Mario versus Sonic, like the at the Olympics or whatever. You could do that, or maybe another Galaxy Super Galaxy Party or something like that. Like I genuinely don't see the point of keep remaking these same re-releases and everything. You're not giving us anything new. You're not giving us anything new. Or if you don't want to make an expansive Pokemon game, at least re-release some of the best ones. Like re-release, like you made Diamond and Pearl, re-release Platinum, the best one out of those two, or re-release. You did Omega Ruby and something Sapphire for the like Nintendo 3DSs. Can you bring those to the big screen, or make a Emerald, like a Omega Emerald for your Nintendo Switch, something like that? Like there's banging games that you could bring to your Switch. Make a Breath of the Wild 2. Like there's banging games you could do, and you didn't have to rush this out. You're trying to like I feel like Nintendo now is trying to compete with Xbox and PlayStation, and they shouldn't do that because no matter which side of the spectrum you're on, whether you're a PC, PlayStation, or an Xbox gamer, you still most people that I know still have I'm sorry, still has Nintendo Switches. Like they still have Nintendo Switches no matter what side of the spectrum they are on. So like they still want that. But now that you're trying to compete with everybody else, you have them trying to be like, you know what, we can make our own console because if people don't want to play you, they'll play us. The Xbox is developing, I believe, a new handheld. PlayStation's already came out with their handheld, and then of course you got PC with the Steam Deck. So I'm like, you're really losing out, and that Steam Deck could probably do whatever you needed to do. I could probably download a Game Boy ROM right now. Let's wait a minute. Let's pause that for a second. There's literally if you go on Amazon right now, there's literally gaming ROM, handheld Game Boys, that ROM hacks that are already built in with thousands of Nintendo titles, PlayStation titles, all that stuff. And people rather play that, from what I've heard, people rather play those than go get this Nintendo 2 Switch. Or it's Nintendo Switch 2. Like I said in my promo video, in my preview video, the Nintendo Switch 2 is the Wii U with better marketing. I'm sorry. That is just how it is. When they released that handheld piece of crap Wii, it was the worst thing ever. Like I generally don't know a lot of people that really kept their Wii U because it was just that bad of a game system. And this is where Nintendo had to pivot to give us the Nintendo Switch. So do we really want to pivot and see, do we really want to pivot and see if this is going to be worth it or not? My honest opinion, the Nintendo Switch 2 is not a worthwhile product, and on top of that, I don't want to sign my life away over saying that if I change anything or any aspects of the game system, you have the right to brick it. You said that for my first Nintendo. You if you agree to that license, they say if you change either Nintendo Switch or your Nintendo Switch 2, anything that gets changed on it, they could brick it. And we don't know what that defines as. Like, what do you define as change on it? But if you feel like you could just do that, then truly, Nintendo, you've lost your mind. Because if you don't think, like, when I got my Nintendo Switch, you're telling me that you're saying, like, oh yeah, that's not yours. That's like PlayStation telling me the PlayStation I own is not truly mine. It still belongs to Sony. Fuck that. I spent $500 for my PlayStation. That is mine. That is completely mine. Same thing with my Nintendo. It's mine, but if that's what I have to sign to, make sure that it's good, I'm out of it. I don't want it. I don't need it. It is what it is. I could go find something else to do. I got a Game Boy ROM right now on my phone, right now, where I could go play Fire Red, Emerald. I got a Nintendo DS ROM. I could do whatever I need to do. I don't need to deal with that stuff. So that's my honest opinion there on the Nintendo Switch. So I wanted to have a rant about that because I was just like, you know what, it's really irking my nerves. Like, ugh, Nintendo Switch 2. Like, yeah, let's talk about this. Anyways, that was episode 1. I feel like we've had a lot to unpack in the first episode, but here we are. The chaos has officially begun. Next week, we're going to be diving into why Demon Slayer is a very peak anime, the real killer of Call of Duty, and why Call of Duty is probably not going to be successful after Black Ops 7, and how streamers are ruining multiplayer games. Yes, I said it. I'm talking about you, Ninja. I'm talking about you, Tim the Tap Man. Make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, Amazon. And follow me on TikTok at Grandmaster Nerd 1 and YouTube at That Guy Jordan 42. Thanks for rocking with me, and we gonna see you next week. Bye.